Hello dear students. In the previous classes we have seen regarding your SCADA, how SCADA works, and then the standard SCADA configurations. Today let us see the users of the SCADA. Yeah, we are studied till now how SCADA works. How SCADA works and what are the different things are used there, how RTUs are working, how the different SCADA configurations are there, all those things you have seen. Now, who are the benefiters of this SCADA, or who are the users, the persons will take the help of this SCADA system, that we will going to see in today's class. First of all, users of the SCADA system are many. Some of the things are we can highlight here. First one is the system operators. System operators are nothing but the SCADA is meant to alert the operator to an event to and help the initiate a control action in a timely manner. If anything control actions to be taken at the moment, then the SCADA will help that particular user to take the proper control action. So the person who is operating the system operator will take the help of this SCADA system. So he is the system operator, is the first user in the SCADA system. Then relay operator. A relay operator is there to operate the relay, or he need to know whether it is a correct operation or whether a maloperation is taken place. If it is a maloperation, he need to restart the relay. So it will help the relay operator to time of the stamping and sequence of the events records, which is helping him to operate the relay, when to operate it, when to not operate. If it is suddenly relay is operated, whether it is a maloperation or it is proper operation, he may check this one. So relay operator is also one kind of the user in SCADA system. Coming to next, maintenance department. Whole maintenance department will come to know the schedule of breaker and relays. Totally it will help the maintenance department to take the maintenance schedule using the SCADA. To production department. Production department in the sense use of centralized data collection relating to unit and the plant generation, station service, fuel used, efficiency. So these users are in the production department. The persons can give the different data. They can have the performance. They will be knowing what is the fuel required for which plant and how, whether it is giving efficiency or not giving, or what the next changes we can do. All those things he can do in the production department. So these things are going to help him. So these are the some of the few users highlighted as the users of the SCADA system. So from this it is very essential to plan completely all the requirement before designing this SCADA system by taking all the requirements of these users. Next, what are the data of the powers, the data for the supervisory power system or SCADA system. So we are till now we are told different things are data acquisition is taking place. So what are the data, those things to be acquisition is taking place? The first one is the power plant data. Power plant data is nothing but its unit generation, unit auxiliary units available, generator limits. What is the limit of generator? How much it can generate, or what is the minimum, means minimum and maximum of the generator limits. Then bus voltages, unit performance data such as water temperatures, valve points, environmental constraints, equipment constraints. All these things are coming under the power plant data. Coming to the distribution data, it is having the feeder analyzing parameter, feeder lockouts, feeder balance, sectionalization operation and control, reclose operation of the breakers. So all these things are coming under the distribution data, because all these things are at the distribution side. Coming to the substation data is of bus voltages, breaker and switch status, whether switch is on and off, breaker is in on and off state, substation alarming, protection status, transformer's tap position, whether it is in positive tapping, in negative tapping, all those things, relay status, alarming of transformers, megawatt and megaware, that is the active and reactive power of hourly meter readings, all those things are called as substation data. Next is systems operational data, that is system load, control performance, operating constraint, and environmental data. So these are the total system data, what is the load at the system, at what time what will be the load, and control performance of the total system. Operating constraints, you might be knowing operating constraint, operating of a generator, operating of a breaker, all those things will be operating of any switches, or operating of a transmission line, how much you can load it, how much you can't go for loading, all those things are coming this system data. The next is wind generation data. This is depending upon the, if wind generating system is present in your power system, then you should know what is the wind turbines operation, and wind speed, power generated how much, and what is the wind direction and pressure, so how much we can utilize this one. All these things are there in the wind operational data. So this is some of the major data for data acquisition. Not only this much is enough. So the database run into thousands of numbers. Even a small power system also, there will be many data will be there. So large amounts of data need to be stored, and for the various long period. So it need to be stored. So it may be from the few minutes to the few years data. Sometimes we should come to know what is the last year's data, what is the this year data, all those things. Then we need to store it. So depending upon the data type, one system we are having, that is data acquisition system. You can see in this figure here, one computer at the master station is there, that is called as FEP. FEP is nothing but front end processor. This front end processor collects the data from different RTU installed in the various substation by polling method. The communication method, it may be dial-up telephone or PLC method, optical fiber communication, or microwave. So the FEP or the front end processor formats the data and processes it, then transferred to the host server. So which is then displayed on the single line diagrams, so which helps the user to get the data from the human machine interface. So front end processor handles normal functions like converting the RTU formats into the host format, because RTU's format is different, host format is different. So it is converting the RTU format to host format, and allowing smart scanning of pre-selected RTU measurements, then provide exception reporting, reduce the CPU interrupt loading. The function of the host CPU, the person who is at the host side, his CPU's functions are the maintaining the SCADA and EMS database, convert the raw data into engineering units. Say many data are in the raw type, so you need to be converted into engineering units. Then this work is done at the CPU's side of the host CPU side, and perform limit checks and processing the alarms. So these all the things are coming under the data acquisition system. Then how to collect the data, main thing is what, using the transducers. Transducers are main things to used in data acquisition, because which helps the collect different data. What are the different transducers? First one is a power transducer. Power transducer are measured to the active and reactive power for both balanced and unbalanced loading condition. So both incoming and outgoing powers are taken using this power transducer. Power transducer are converting the actual power value into the required form to the SCADA system. So the power transducers are used. Coming to the voltage transducer, voltage transducers are nothing but it is used to convert the sinusoidal voltage into the load independent direct current DC signals. Usually the voltages will be high voltages in the power system. The equivalent DC means not exact equivalent, that is equivalent is according to your system. So maybe like 1 volt is equal to 1000 volts, like that. The different scaling will be there. According to that, these voltage transducers are used. Then frequency transducers. Frequency transducers are used to measure the frequency over a specified range and convert it into an industry standard output signal, which is directly proportional to the measured input. Then current transducers. Current transducers are many types are available. they are accept the AC current input and provide a proportional DC current output. So these are the transducers are used in data acquisition. Coming to the RTUs for the power system SCADA. So what is RTU remote terminal unit is consist of, or what are the different things are there in the RTU? So that is RTU is having analog input called. So this module accepts analog voltage and current inputs for transmission through a analog to digital converter to maintain to the main processor. An analog input interface up to 32 bipolar and unipolar inputs are available. Second one is status input card. This is responsible for the collection, processing and reporting of the various type of contact input for the RTU. The module should be capable of reading a number of discrete digital inputs. All digital inputs are bipolar and optically isolated. Next, the third one is control input card. RTU control commands are handled by this module. Reliability and security are the utmost important in issuing the controls. Some functions available are master, trip and close relay, and so check and executive functions to the provide security. Local remote switch to manually disable relay coil power and contact wetting during the maintenance. These are the things for the control input card. Then central processing unit, CPU. This contains powerful processor to handle the data collection and deliver it to the host computer. So to run a local automation algorithms and maintains reliability in a substation. So these are the main things consist of RTUs: analog input card, status input card, control input card, and central processing unit. What are the functions of RTU? Functions of RTU is, first one is a time synchronization. Next is before executing it has to select which is to be executed, that it has to be selected, and reports by exception. What are the reports to be done? Apart from this, other important functions of the RTUs are scanning of the data from the field for the field continuously, sending data to front-end processor without interruption, sequencing of event, that is SOE, recording with the time stamping, display of the data to local system, logging the data, executing control commands, self-diagnostics, and the configuration of the data from the host and vice versa, means from the host to configuration of the data from host and vice versa. Then last one is the time synchronization with the host computer. So these are the some important functions of the RTU. Remaining things we will see in the next class. Thank you.